Hello everyone. I cannot wait to show you all of the changes inside of Homeschooler App in this latest update. So this update is going to be all inclusive of everything that I have changed inside of the app and how that actually makes it extremely easy to lesson plan, even add past lesson data, past courses, things like that, past attendance. All of that is now much improved in the new app. So let's just hop right into it. As you can see, I am on the home dashboard. Now, one thing you may notice is in the old dashboard, it had the place for hours. Now, I know many of you do have to track hours. Some of you by subject, which we're going to get into that in just a minute. However, many of you don't have to track hours, so sometimes you just want that gone. I can understand that. So now, if you go into attendance, you can see that this doesn't look very much different, but there is one key thing. You can now move from one day beforehand or after, and then you can always jump back to today, which I think is extremely helpful. It should have always been there, but it hasn't been, but now it is. And then you can go to the calendar. Another thing that should have always been this way, but wasn't, is you can click into a particular day, and then it opens up the attendance modal for that day for all of your children or students. Another thing is in the reporting tab is the same, but in the settings tab. Number one, you'll see that there is a settings tab now. Number two, you can see that it actually asks you if you want to track hours. If you turn this on, and then we go back to the home dashboard, you can see that now there is a place to put your hours. Go back to settings, and I'm going to turn that back off, but now you see coming soon. We're working on the ability to track hours by subject because I know particularly states like Missouri and others do require you to track hours, and you have to have 600 in core subjects. So more on that a little bit later. We've already got the groundwork laid. We're going to be enhancing that very, very soon, along with some other exciting changes. So that's pretty much it for attendance, except if you try to use the bulk fill feature, for some reason there was a bug that we didn't know about. Some of you reached out and let us know that. Thank you very much. It is now working, and it actually keeps track of your school year and your breaks, so that way it won't add attendance on your breaks or when you weren't actually in school. So that now works. The next big change, now this is the biggest change that we made. It's between the curriculum and the planner tab. So if we go to curriculum, you'll see here adding a subject looks the same. However, adding a course looks a little bit different. So you still select a subject. So let's just say we'll do math. And then just like the example says, we'll say algebra 1. And then you can select students. You no longer have to choose whether it's multi-students. You can actually just add them all. But I'm going to go with Peter Parker for just now. It's credits. You can choose the grade. We're going to go grade 9. It is going to be graded, and it's going to be a percentage type course. So now I'm going to create that course. So now you can see this course is in math. However, you didn't create any lessons. You didn't choose your schedule. Well, and that's because of our new planner. So if you go to the planner tab, you will see, or maybe you've already seen, that the calendar loads up first, and that's exactly what it's supposed to. First off, I've improved the calendar as well. So now it opens up a little bit wider. And if you're on a smaller, like a laptop screen, I work on a laptop screen for coding, and I go ahead and I collapse the menu to make even more room. And that's very handy. So now you can collapse that screen whenever you need more room. Everything else works the same. It looks a little different because these are assignments, not lessons, but you can check them as completed. You can uncheck them, and then you can even rearrange them. Oh, and I almost didn't tell you. Let's go back to the curriculum tab just for a second. Now, let's just say you wanted math to be the first subject that you teach every day or that your students go over every day. Let's just drag it up to the top and then go back to the planner. And then we go down, and then, now, obviously we don't have any lessons in math, but I'll show you that in a minute. Math would be on top. So let's go ahead and put some assignments in there so you can actually see that in action. So if we go to Lesson Planner, this looks completely different than any other sort of user interface that we've had before, but I think you'll get it very, very quickly. Many of you already have. So you choose a student. Let's just say Peter. Let's just choose that course, Algebra 1. And of course, he doesn't have anything assigned. So let's say we do math 4 days a week. So let's just say he's going to do a lesson, and we're going to do it on Monday, Tuesday. We're going to skip Wednesday because that's co-op day, and then we're going to do Friday. So we're going to add 18 lessons to January. And let's say every day he also does a worksheet. So we're going to go worksheet. We're going to select days. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is already set. And then there we go. And now you can see that this has lesson and worksheet on all the days we chose, but not the days we didn't. Now let's say he has a math test every Friday or every other Friday. We could say test 1, 2, test, 1, 2, test. And then say every other day he has a quiz. You kind of get the idea at this point. So let's every other Friday, excuse me. So there's a quiz, there's a quiz. So now we have the entire month of January set for Peter. What we're going to do next is we're going to save those changes. You can see how quickly and easy you can do an entire year for a course for one of your students. And then you can do the entire year for all your courses for all your students in much less time than any other planner out on the market, including ours just a few days ago. So now you go to assignment details. Now it's intuitive. It will keep Peter and algebra. And you also see now we have the assignment type. So this is the list of all of the assignments we just added to January. And as you can see, if you go back to the calendar, now math is on top because we have lessons in there. So now we're going to go back to curriculum, and I'm going to put grammar back on top. Go back to the planner. We'll open up Peter. Oh, and there's grammar on top. But let's go back to the assignment details. And now those details are missing because we actually left the tool. So let's go to Peter Parker. Let's choose Algebra 1. It's going to load up January. We can go to December. There aren't any there, but then we'll go back to January. And then we can even filter by type. So say if you want to put in all the lessons. So for instance, we use Saxon Math. So we would open up all the lessons, and then we would put in the title for whatever those lessons are. We would add details or instructions right here. Most things are graded, but say your lessons aren't graded, you can go ahead and click those off, and then they will no longer be counted as graded. However, if you go to the quiz, those are likely going to, the quizzes, they're likely going to be graded. So you can say what the quiz is about, you can add the details, and then you can even put in the grade. Let's say, and then we can move it to graded. And that's actually going to add that to the grade book. But let's just say he has completed the quiz, but you haven't graded it yet. Well, now that's marked as completed. This is done throughout the entire system. So can you imagine doing this for all of your assignments, for all of your classes very, very quickly in a spreadsheet that then logs it into the reports? That's why I wanted to create this. That's why I've been working so hard on it the last few weeks, and it's also why it took so long. So that's the power of the lesson planner and the assignment details, which all of those details go into the calendar, which you can, again, you can drag and drop what you would like. So if I'm going to drag Peter over here, now the assignment is moved. We have 2 lessons, and then we have the worksheet. But let's just go ahead and move this back. It's back. And now we're going to go to the grade book. There are some changes here. However, those changes are going to enhance even more. We're going to get weighted grades. So for instance, quizzes count more than worksheets and tests count more than quizzes to make your grading a little bit more accurate. But it's already a little bit better in there. You can see that there are 60, this is obviously test data. There are 60 that need grading for Peter. However, if we go to algebra that we did, there's 1 that needs grading because it's marked complete, and there is 1 that is graded. And then you can also see report cards. You can select your student. You can select a start date and then select an end date. Again, these reports are going to get more and more comprehensive as the weeks go on. Now that we kind of have the baseline data, we're going to be able to make that data present itself to you in the form of reports in many, many different ways, including logs for what you've done for the week, for what you've done for the month, and then you'll be able to store those inside of Homeschooler App. So we're super excited about that. One final thing on the curriculum tab, you will be able to see the progress. It's still the same. However, now it's based on assignments. So since you're not putting all of your lessons for the year in advance, we had to track it some other way, and that was by assignments. So you can see that grammar has 241 assignments, and 120 of them are complete, but 22 of them are behind, which means that the date that they were scheduled has passed, but they were not marked complete. And if that is the case, it's going to tell you how many assignments you are behind. And then this one is no assignments are due yet. However, 2 are done. But if you're ahead of schedule, then it will tell you that you are ahead. So say, for instance, if you have all the lessons currently complete, and then you have lessons in the future that are completed as well, it'll tell you that you. One more thing about the planner tab. Oh my. You can make custom assignment types, and you can edit these assignments. So you can change the emoji, you can change their name, you can add a custom type if you run out of room here. So say you don't do homework, right? You do all your school in the school day. You can change this to something else and change the emoji. Or if you use all of these, there's 10 types, no, 8 types, or 3, 6, 9, there are 11 types, excuse me. And then you have a custom type. Then you can actually just make other ones. So if you have 11 and you need more, you can make a 12th as well. So all of that is in there and ready to go. I hope you all are as excited as I am about this update. This is a quick video. I'm going to be starting to make individual tutorial videos for all of our features for our new customers coming in. But I thank you all, really to thank you all for being some of our earliest supporters, our earliest customers. And honestly, every time I get an email from you all, I've been in marketing and software for a long time. I have never looked forward to customer support emails. But every single email I get from you all is so encouraging. Even when you notice something that needs to be fixed, you're just so uplifting and encouraging. Connie and I, my wife, we just can't thank you enough, really. And if you want to tell others about us, we would absolutely love that. We're not going anywhere. We love this app. We're using this app, and we're going to continue to improve it based on your feedback and our own. So thank you all once again very much. I hope you're excited about this update, and let us know any feedback you have. You can reach out at hello@homeschooler.app, or if you have an issue, you notice a bug, you know something needs to be tweaked, reach out at support@homeschooler.app. Thank you all very much.